Hello, welcome. Today we're going to be looking at SQL and database management system for our work. I'm going to be using Postgres because we are going to be using Progress for the database. So quickly go to Google and download Postgres. So I'll send you the video on how to download it later, but it's very simple. Just go to Google, type in Postgres database. So if you're able to type Postgres, so it will lead you to the you can see www.postgres.org. so you click on it, you download, make sure you download the pgadmin4, so you can see. So click on download and get it downloaded and install it. So after installing it, click on the start button and just type pg4, or just, you can see it, pgadmin4. Click on it. Once you click on the pgadmin4, it will open. So this is the Postgres pgadmin 2, where you can work on your database. So we're going to be starting with this very this is the table, the ERD that we are given. The full meaning of ERD is entity relation diagram, ERD, and that is where you get the information that you use in building your table. This is the assignment that was given. So we are going to be building the database known as employee. So we are building employee database, and inside the employee database we have the different tables: customers, products, shops, sales, and vendors. So that is what we are going to be doing. So we are going to be starting that immediately. So as we are starting it, make sure you're following. So let's keep going. So this is what we are building. So I'm going to go to my pgadmin4. This is my pgadmin4, and this is where I'm expected to build the database. So I'm going to build the database immediately now. So once you open up this, you will see this. You might be required to put in your username and password that you used while installing your Postgres. So it's always good you use Postgres. So this is our employee database that is already built here. So I'm gonna quickly going to stop this and delete it. Are you sure you want to drop this database? I say yes. So I want to delete that employee database so that, okay, it's now there again. So I want to create a new database. So how do you go about creating a new database? This is the database. So I'm going to right click on this. You see create, then you see database. So right click on the database, click on create, and click on database. So what is the name of the database we are creating? Employee. So who is the owner? You can make anybody to be the owner. You can type in the name of the owner if you want, or you can leave it like this. So I'll say save. So once you click on save, you are going to see employee database. These are the two databases that are there, Postgres and Wayfarer. I already used it to create Wayfarer database before. So Postgres normally come along with it on installation. So if you did a new install, you might be seeing only Postgres. So on top of this database, that's where you right click and say create database. So you can see that the employee database is there. If you click on the arrow beside it, it's going to connect automatically. So if you want to create a table, like the tables, these are the tables, so we need to create them there. So if you want to create a table, I can simply, you click on schema. You can see schema, the arrow beside schema. Click on it, it will go down. You can see table. So this place you're seeing table, click on the table, right click and say create table. So once you say create table, it will bring name of table. You can see the name of the table we are going to be creating. The first one is customers. So once I put customers, that is that. For that, I can go to columns and select the columns that I want. So to select the columns, you click this plus sign. So what are the columns there? So inside this first one, I'm going to put the first name. So that is customer number, which I'm going to use as my I'm going to use customer number as my primary key. So you remember how you name fields, very very important. It has to start with capital letter from the lesson that we got from Open Classroom. So it has to be customer number, like this. So having done that, that is how you name a field. So under data type for this, I'm gonna use integer. If you don't want it to have length, you can use integer or serial. It's better you use serial for if you're using Postgres. So I'm gonna type serial. As I'm typing it out, it will come out. So I click on serial. So leave these other two blank. Then under not null, click yes, because your primary key doesn't have to be null. Then under primary key, also click yes, so that it will become like this. Click on plus sign to bring in the next field, which is phone number. Take note of how I'm writing the fields. Camel case in the first letter starting with capital letter, so phone number. Then under this, I'm gonna write instead of integer, I'm gonna be able to use a numeric. Why I'm using numeric is that I want to put some, you can see numeric, I want to be able to give it length, so I'm giving 10 length. So I'll leave the rest, then press plus again. So I'll put the next thing there, which is name. See, in the example that we are giving, the names and all those things are started with small letter, but you have to use the knowledge that you got from the learning. So name has to be in this form. Then what are we going to use? We are going to use varchar, and varchar in Postgres is represented with varying character. You can see character varying is the same thing as varchar. So you can put the number you want. Let me do 255. You can put anything you want. Then finally we have address. So this is one way of creating table. I will teach you another way of doing it as well. So address, I'm also going to use varchar, which is which in Postgres we'll call it character varying, the same thing as varchar. So I'm also going to put 255. So immediately after doing all this, I can click the enter key. But if I have a foreign key, I can click on constraints and also to select foreign key. You can see that a primary key is already customer number. So under constraint, that's where you pick things like foreign key, unique, and other things. So once you're done, click on save. Once you click on save, you should be, you see I now have customers table. This is customers table. So if I click on it, if I right click and say view and edit the first 100 rows, so that I can be able to insert new things there. So it's going to bring out something. Okay, you can see this is my table. So if I want to insert under primary key, I can put 001. Under phone number, I can put my phone number 070-671-626-98. Then under name, you can write my name, Emeka Augustine, and I press the OK key. Then under address, I can put any address. So I'm using 2 Manor Street, Abuja, and I press OK. So with that, I have my first entry. So I can click on save here. It will say data saved. So now I have my table with one entry. So I can add more entry as I want by moving straight to this one. But I can also use a script to add entry, which is what we are going to try learning. So let's say you want to create a table and you don't want to create it the way I created it, you just want to use a script. So I'm going to quickly copy a script here and use it and create this table. So this is a script, SQL. So whenever you hear SQL, SQL is a language for the database management, structural query language. So in the course of this lesson, we are going to be learning how to use the SQL. So once you come here, let's say you come to table, you right click, you can say create table if you want to use the other method that was given before. Or let's say you want to use SQL to run your table, which is what we are going to learn now. So if I come to this table and right click customer, come to one of the tables, right click, say customer. So once you right click, you see a lot of things. So under script, you see create script. So if you click on this create script, you can be able to use SQL to create a script. So you can see this is the script that was used in creating the customer table. But now we want to create another table, and we want it to be the script for another table known as link. So let's try creating script for link. So take note, here you can also insert using script and do a whole of other things using script. But this is not what we are going to be looking at now. We are going to try to create a new table. So I'm going to click on this table again and right click. Okay, create script. So this create script is gonna open here. So I'm gonna do Ctrl A and Ctrl V to paste in the new script. This is the new script I have for link. So this is a table link with ID, serial and primary key and all this. You can see the varchars and their numbers. So once I finish and I click on run script, this is run script or execute, you can see query returned successfully. So I now have a new table. If I check my table, if I refresh it by clicking on it and right clicking and saying refresh, I should be able to see link. Can you see link? This is the link table. So you can click on it and right click and say view to edit first 100. So you have another table now. You can see this is the ID, URL and other things. So if you want to insert into this, simply I'll go and select this. This is a simple insert query. So once I get back to my PG admin, I can insert into this by simply saying if I click here, right click, I go to scripts, insert script. So I can do a very simple thing by just typing into here and it will insert, or I can paste this the script that I copied, which is the same thing. So once I say run, it's gonna be able to, you see, it has executed successfully. So if I click on this link and also click on view first 100, I should be able to see those two things that were inserted. So you can see the two things that I inserted. I did not insert in the rest of them. So you can use script or you can insert normally. So that's why we're going to be stopping. In subsequent classes we are going to move forward. Thank you. So primary key and other things we'll explain it in subsequent classes, but I hope you already know. I'm simply teaching us how to use Postgres.